back to Meet in the Middle Dog Training. My name is Tana and I'm going to show you how to work with your own dog. In today's lesson, we are continuing on with e-collar conditioning. We are going to work with Archie outside with this recall using these three tools and these three tools only, along with our usual training gear, which is the treat pouch, the clicker, and our e-collar. We're now going to pair with them, and we're going to be using the slip lead along with the long line. But what I'm going to do with the slip lead here is I'm going to get the handle part of it, and I'm just going to put it right here in this little clasp on my long line. And the reason why we're doing this is because I still like using my slip lead. This is how we've conditioned my dog in prior videos to know what the pressure means on the leash. So whenever I just do tap tap, he knows to come to me, or if I'm moving this way and I tap tap this way, he knows we're going that direction. So this is just, again, a way for me to communicate with him using this long line, and we're just going to slowly add more line in as time goes. We are not teaching him a recall. Archie already knows a recall. In my previous video for the day one intro to the e-collar, I mentioned in there that this is a tool that we're not using for training. This is not a training tool. This is a communication tool. Everything that we are communicating to Archie, he's already learned using the positive reinforcement method. Whenever he comes to me on his own free will after I tap this and he learns that he is doing something great, we're just going to go ahead and reward him and pay him. So we're going to start at the very bottom layer, which is we're going to use this recall word. I have a few for him because that's just the kind of person that I am. We're going to use this recall, and then as soon as Archie turns his head and he acknowledges me, that's when we're going to let go of it, and we're going to click reward. Right here is where I decided to move him up to a working level of 14 from a working level of 12 because the environment was just a little bit too motivating. But we do drop back down to a 12, you'll see in just a minute. Right about here is where Archie figures out the name of the game, which is you call me, I come, I get reward. And he tries to stay ahead of the game here by just clinging to me, staying near me, and just coming up to me, which ultimately is what you want in your dog. You want a dog that constantly checks in with you and wants to stay with you and doesn't want to tootle off. So that's not a bad thing, but I'm just walking around and trying to get him to go sniff stuff and get distracted. He's biting his own butt because a bug landed on him there. But I'm just trying to walk him around and let him get distracted by stuff so I have a reason to recall him, because if he's just right beside me the entire time, I really don't have a good enough reason to be like, hey, yo, come to me. Archie's also trained to walk in a hill position when we're on leash, so that's also not working in my favor for playing this game here with him, because whenever I walk, he moves with me, and he's like, do you want me to stay with you? Do you want me in a hill? What are we doing? And he's just trying to figure out exactly what I want from him, but he loves these mid-back scratches, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just love on you a minute and give you some affection, because really this is all about him. And he's trying to see what kind of bratty behavior he can get away with here by pawing at me. And I do pet my dogs when they paw me because it's a behavior I personally adore. I love it. If you don't like it, then don't pet your dogs when they do it. But this does escalate into behaviors like jumping. But as you see, I did a quick knee up to correct him on jumping. There are some people that think that doing the knee method is a heavy, aversive, it's rude, it's mean because the dog's coming up to you wanting affection. Me personally, I don't think so, because if I was a handicapped person and a dog came up to me to get affection, that's not a way that I would think is appropriate or friendly. There's about 4 or 5 different methods you can use to correct dogs whenever they do jump on you like that. And to me, that one is one of the fastest ones to break a bad habit of jumping. Archie is just a really cool dude. He's a funny guy, and he just loves seeing what kind of bratty behaviors he can get away with, because pawing at me is a bratty behavior, but it's one that I like and it's okay for me. But if you don't like that one, totally don't allow it. He's been a great little shadow puppy here, which ultimately, when we go hiking and we go out for walks, this is the behavior that I want. I want a dog that wants to stay with me and wants to follow me around, and he keeps offering auto sits, which is something I absolutely love, because again, I don't want him jumping on me, but I want him sitting, and I want to show him that's something that will get you what you want. And if you want to teach your dog a great recall, this is exactly how you start teaching a recall. This is just how you pair the recall with the e-collar, but you can totally do everything that I'm doing here without using the e-collar. But first, I recommend you teach your dog leash pressure. Now, if you're new here, I'm just going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about why I love teaching dogs leash pressure, why it's a positive, and why you should do it with every single dog you have. And the reason behind that is, how else are you going to communicate to your dog that you don't want them pulling on the leash? If they feel the pressure whenever they're pulling forward, they know that means to come to you and to pipe it down. If they're pulling to the side, they know that means to come to where you're at. But if you don't teach them that, they're going to pull like a freaking sled horse. You don't want that, and I don't want that. The best way to teach a dog to stop doing something is to teach them what it means and what to do instead. In shorter terms, correct with the redirect. So you're going to correct that leash pulling by redirecting them with the information of what that leash pulling means and what you want from them. I decided to let Archie off here because he's just being a good boy, and I need him to toodle off. That way we can do a little bit more training with him. Just to confirm, when I'm saying correct with the redirect, I'm not saying to use leash corrections. I don't really like that. Oh yeah, you're a good boy. Didn't even have to stem him or call him that time. Archie is a really intelligent dog. He's figuring out the name of the game, which idealistically, that's what you want there. You want a dog that's always checking in with you and always paying attention to what you're doing and anticipating that you might be calling them back. So that's a pretty cool sign to see in Archie, that he's already figuring out what we're doing and what this means. But I'm just going to keep moving around and see if I can actually get him to let me do some training. He's smarter than I am. Archie, here. Good. So if you notice right there, Archie did just a little bit of a head flick when he came, and that lets me know that he felt that stem, but I don't necessarily want him reacting too much to the stem. That is normal for them to react that amount to the stem. I got a cat trying to get a goose right now, so I might have to be right back. But I had him on a working level of 14 out here because he was getting really distracted at first. but now he's doing really good. So oh, I gotta recall him. Archie, here. Perfect timing. I've got him off leash. He heard the neighbors down at the bottom of the hillside here, and he was getting ready to go run down there towards them, which is something I don't really like him doing. He's always been good in the past to not go whenever I tell him not to, but there's always that chance that your dog is going to be more motivated by whatever it is in the environment that's got their attention. So lucky for me, I've got this as an insurance policy to be like, hey, no, you must listen to me. That's not up for discussion. And then I've got the rewards too. So we're doing some good reinforcement here, but I typically don't like coming outside with my dog without having a good handle or control of where he goes, because there's so much that can happen in the environment and I'm not comfortable with the potentials. So this gives me the opportunity to work with him, because if it comes down to it and Archie is running out and I see a vehicle coming and he's going to get smashed, I'd rather crank this thing up to a higher level than my dog get hit and killed by a car. To me, it's more worth it to have a way to make sure my dog knows, we're not doing that. He knows that. I know, I made the noise of you don't do that. Come here, come on. Good boy! Alright, I gotta go deal with these cats in my goose yard. It's a great idea to have your training sessions multiple times a day. I recommend if you can swing 3 to 5 sessions a day at 5 to 15 minutes. And at the point that you want to end your session is whenever your dog is making a big connection. They're like, oh my gosh, this is what you want me to do? Give me that reward. So you want to give them a big old handful of them, and you're just going to end it there. And then you're going to pick up and keep going. But yeah, you're going to get more progress training your dog in 5 to 10 minute segments multiple times a day than you are if you spend an hour or 2 hours at a time in a week, because your dog taps out after a little bit. Archie here is doing pretty good. He's just chilling. He's good with my little baby geese. My yard cats unfortunately are not, so they had to go up back in the building, and hopefully they'll go back on mouse patrol for a little bit for me. So they're going to stay in there for time being, and my dog and I are going to keep doing some training. But we'll see if Archie wants to. He's just kind of laying down right now. I don't know if you can see him on the camera or not, but he's just sitting there chilling and doing his thing. But we're just going to hang out here. I'm probably not going to roll the camera much longer because I feel like this is a good session, and if I get some more work in, that's great. Like for example, a minute ago, whenever I recalled him, he was trying to slip behind that building there and go down to the neighbor's house because he hears them outside doing something. I don't want him being a nuisance to whatever they're doing down there. So luckily I was able to use the stem and recall both. Like I said before, Archie has a really good recall. I've never really had too much of a problem, but he is a intact male, and my wonderful neighbors that way, they breed Rottweilers, and they've got a couple females going into heat right now. So his ability to listen to me and his motivation to listen to me is getting a little overran by his hormones. I don't have the intentions on neutering Archie at this time. I know everyone has their thoughts and opinions on that one, and that's okay because everyone's entitled to make the decision they find is best for their dog. The research that I've done for him, his breed specifically, his size, and for what I want in a drive in a dog, I don't find neutering to be something that I want. And as I've mentioned before, I do not let my dogs out of my eyesight. Again, this is my insurance policy to guarantee that my dog does not leave my side. I don't let my dogs roam freely in the neighborhood. I don't believe in letting a intact dog run freely in the neighborhood as is. So that's not something that you guys are going to have to worry about, because I know there's a lot of people, and I deal with this on my personal Facebook, where people come at me or they comment on my stuff and they tell me, oh, you got to spay and neuter, it's irresponsible. What's irresponsible is letting your dogs run freely without checking in with them. That's not something that I do. That's not something I ever plan to do. I've got a fenced in yard here and there. That way I can let my dogs out if I'm not really willing to just stand there and micromanage them. I know they're fine. I know they're safe and secure in the yard, and Archie is one of those dogs that he doesn't really like being away from me that much. He loves his mama Twinkie. It's It's actually his sister, but I think he thinks that's his mother. The way he just clings to me and her, he doesn't really like being away from us. He's a very solid and sturdy dog, but he is very pack driven, and being out and on his own is not something he's too fond of. So that's one thing that I have working in my advantage, is he's very loyal to us here. So he's not a dog that I'm ever going to really expect to run away. But again, like I said, there's always the thing you have to plan for. There's this saying that goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. And I'm not planning to fail. So we've got our plan in place that if we need it, it's here. I've been doing some conditioning with them. This is our first time coming outside today to do our conditioning work with e-collar for recall purposes. The other day we were working on just, sits and downs with it and teaching him. It's the same thing as leash pressure. Archie is a phenomenal dog when it comes to learning. When it comes to dogs learning, there's a style, and not every dog is able to learn this way, but it's referred to as associative learning, the do as I do theory. So that means if you know how to open a fridge and you pull that fridge open, that dog watches you and understands how you open that fridge, and there's a chance that that dog can open that fridge with just very minimal training. Same thing with doors. We were watching my brother-in-law's dog a couple of weeks ago, and his dog is like Archie. She's a do as I do learner. So she was watching us go in and out that front door, and she kept jumping up and she kept hitting the doorknob, which we've got the knob type. We don't have the handlebars. If we had the handlebars, she could easily figure out how to get in and out of the house. And because of her do as I do learning style, I feel like that's a dog that could easily figure out how to escape out of the house. I think that's really cool. But with that being said, you can use the do as I do type learner dogs, and you can get further along faster with training. Whereas with my lab, she is a wonderful, sweet, loving dog. But when it comes to her learning style and the way she learns and at the rate she learns, it takes me about 5 times as long to teach her what it takes me just a couple of minutes to teach Archie. This guy is highly intelligent, and he's very driven to please, work, and to just have something to do. He's not really a dog that you want to use as a couch potato, and that's absolutely what I love with him. But you're a pretty cool dude, and Mama loves you. Yeah, you're a good boy. I don't know if you can see my good boy down here or not, but he's a good boy. Come on, let's sit back here so everybody can see you. Look at my sweet baby. Look at my sweet baby. Yum's good boy. Down. Good. Right. Alright, my friends, that is all I have for you today on today's lesson of conditioning and pairing your e-collar with a recall. This is something that you are going to want to need. This is the whole reason why, honestly, you need a e-collar. It's your choice totally if you use them or not, but again, I can't stress this enough. This is not a training tool. This is a communication device. This is like pulling out a cell phone and calling your dog and be like, hey man, I see you, come over here. That's all this is. This is not a tool you train with. Cell phone. It's a doggy cell phone. So you guys take that home and run with it, all right? Thank you guys so much for coming to my dog training session.